Welcome to English for Writers with Chimnewton. This is our second episode in this brand new channel. Did you watch our very first video in which I gave some pieces of advice that are vital to your inspiration as a writer? If you have not, please do so, just so that you can get the best out of our program. And don't you forget to subscribe so that YouTube can notify you whenever we have a new episode. Subscription is free. In this second episode, our first consideration as we begin to look at the language of the writer is the time a writer chooses to situate his story. This is called timing the narration. What is narration? It is the telling of a story, and in telling a story, the narrator, that is the writer, usually determines whether to tell a story that happened in the past, or he may choose to tell it as it is happening, or as it will happen at some future date. The act of writing a story in a particular time frame is called timing the narration, as I have said. The writer may choose to write his story in some past time, or he may write exclusively about the present time that the event is unfolding, or he may write about something that will happen in the future, and he may decide to shift his narrative between the past, the present, and the future. You see, in most cases, we write about things or events that took place before the present time. That is, things that happened in some time past, in which case we use tenses that situate the events in the past. When you use the past tense in telling your story, you have effectively timed the narration in the past. As you may have observed, most novels and short stories are timed in the past. A writer may choose to report an event as it is taking place in the present. A football match, for example. When the narrator, that is the writer, chooses to tell it as it is going on, he takes time to choose verbs in the present tense to convey the sense of immediacy. If you listen to a commentator reporting a live match, you will notice how he does this. We shall consider an example of this shortly. Now, how do we time the narration? How do we ensure that we properly situate the time of events in our narrative to best convey what we are telling? We can achieve this by using what is called doing words. Doing words are more popularly known as verbs. They are also called action words. They are words that convey particular actions of the various persons or characters we are writing about. There are verbs that express and tell a story in the past, and there are verbs that tell about the present time. There are also verbs that express the time in the future. It is worth mentioning at this point that the writer can effectively shift his time between the past and the present and the future. This is called three-dimensional narrative. For example, Joe, is this you? My goodness, how quickly you have grown into a young man. And it is almost 10 years since your parents retired to the village. Really, time flies like only yesterday. How old are you now? 20. I thought so. I was tall and dashing like you when I was your age. But look at me now, a wizened old man. Joe, you will just be fine. You need not look to the future with trepidation. Well, did you notice how I shifted the time from the present to the past and to the future? Can you listen to this audio again and write out the sentences that convey the present, the ones in the past, and the ones in the future? Good. Now, let us look at a short narrative in which the narration is timed in the past. The moonlight song that asks the question, "Who will be my friend?" was tearing the night skies to pieces. Zeno will be my friend, Nne sang. Zeno will be my friend. Nne sang lustily, dashing along as if she was soaring upon the ethers. The girls were singing, clapping, and dancing round the circle while the boys played at being soldiers by the sideline of the coconut trees. Nne was so happy. There was nothing as exciting as those tiny feminine voices raised in song on a moonlit night. The feeling was inexplicable. She stopped at the periphery, fighting the temptation to join the circle. "No, not tonight," said Nne, and walked on. That was a short excerpt from Under the Cherry Tree by Chimnewton. Did you notice how the writer timed the story in the past? Can you identify the doing words or action words, that is the verbs, that the writer used to achieve this? The narration is entirely in the past, and certainly the author used the verbs that are in the past tense form. In our next episode, we shall look at how to time the narration exclusively in the present. We shall also examine the three-dimensional narrative, its elements and how to achieve it. Don't you forget to subscribe. Do so and be notified by YouTube whenever I upload a new video. See you soon. Goodbye.